a lot of pride. You know, everyone's going to get blamed, and everyone stinks, and that's how the day is. You know, expect this today. Expect a lot of overreaction, but that's what it is. AC starts us off in Jersey. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, thanks to take my call. Long time listening. Listen, I'm not going to blame Boone for this series. It's his first year as a manager. He won over 100 games. I cannot be satisfied what he did. Of course, calls-Cora got basically out-coached him during the series. And that basically the key factor was the running and scoring positions. That was the biggest killer for the Yankees. On the right opportunities to hit, they didn't have the opportunities to hit. You know, and I got a little something about calls-Cora. Okay, calls-Cora took my hometown in Puerto Rico. There was an abyss of baseball, and baseball in Puerto Rico basically is dying. And he took a team out of nowhere and took it to the Caribbean World Series 2 straight years in a row. And when he took that job to Boston to be a manager, I was really happy that they gave him that opportunity to take that team. But thanks to take my call, Mike, and good luck.
He deserves the credit. He did a great job. His team won. No more complicated than looking at Sale, Eovaldi, and Porcello. They outpitched the Yankees. Dominic and West Patterson. What's up, Dominic?
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good. What's up?
2 things. One, do you think the one mistake Boone made was keep putting Severino back in the fourth? And 2, next year when you... I'm sorry.
Did I think the first one was what?
Do you blame Boone for putting Severino back in the fourth?
Yeah, but I think that game was already 3-0 down too against the guy that didn't hit. You know, so they needed to score. You know, their offense didn't perform. It did not. They didn't score any runs in that game. So even if they come back in that game and hold them scoreless, they still lose the game.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And number 2, for next year, you said how we have to get contact hitters and lefties. Who do we lose then out of our lineup next year? I would assume Gardner, or I don't really know his contract or anything.
I will get to that, but you know, listen, the best thing that could happen is going to be a very hard thing. Stanton should go. He doesn't fit. I'll tell you a guy I'd go get right now is Daniel Murphy. I think he's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, he's mostly a DH now, and maybe you could turn him into a part-time first baseman. The Yankees got some decisions to make. See, the Yankees have Torres at second, Didi at short, Andujar at third, Sanchez and Romine at catcher, Judge in right, and next year Hicks in center. They're not going to trade Hicks, as I heard some people talking about, because let me tell you something. First of all, Cash loves Hicks. They have questions at first base where they have to make decisions, left field, where they have Gardy, who's a club option, McCutchen, free agent, and you have, you know, the guy's hurt this year, the outfielder, the kid, Frazier. You got Frazier to deal with too. And DH Stanton. Stanton, who will not accept a trade probably anywhere except the Dodgers, doesn't fit. A guy like Daniel Murphy would be perfect as a DH. Makes contact, hits in big games, would love to hit Yankee Stadium. He'd be a perfect guy. There's a perfect guy. Bob in Summit, what's up, Bob?
Mike, Cora, he managed the series for the ages. The guy had a guy hit for the cycle. The only time in postseason, he pulled him the next day, and actually
there was no way to play him, though. He was going to play against... He doesn't play against lefties. He doesn't play against lefties.
Doesn't tell you what his replacement did, hitting a double. I mean, the guy just every move he made. And I'm going to tell you, as a Met fan looking in, who's not necessarily happy that I like to when the Yankees moved along a little, gave us something to talk about, especially when you're looking into the abyss that we're looking at with the team in this area over the next few months.
Right.
But where is this team? This team was built to win 100 regular season games when half the league is tanking and trying to do the Astros and Royal model where they take these steps back, they lose 70 games, they build their system, and then they turn into what the Braves were this year. This team was never built to win the 3 creme de la creme series that you have to win to win a World Series.
Why not?
And look at a guy like Andujar, who was untouchable 6 weeks ago, doesn't even get it. When have you ever seen a guy untouchable at the trade deadline who's healthy and doesn't get a sniff in a game like that yesterday?
Well, he
Explain
didn't play for specific reasons. That's not a big deal. You're overreacting to Andujar, number one. They were looking for defense, and they were trying to pick up some pop. And Andujar's a kid who had not played in the playoffs before, and they were trying to get a veteran to have a night. That's all. That's baseball. And it's not any more complicated than the fact that Cora, his starting pitchers outpitched the Yankees in 3 of the 4 games. Sale outpitched Happ, Eovaldi badly outpitched the Yankees, and Porcello outpitched CeCe. That's why they won. Case closed. That's why they won. Not any more complicated than that. And they execute better than the Yankees do. The Yankees don't produce runs when they don't hit home runs. And the Yankees did not strike out an inordinate amount of time in this series, except for Stanton in big spots. They did not strike out a lot in this series, but they did not produce a lot of runs. And the Yankees have question marks. They have to be better in their starting rotation. They have to have a more balanced lineup, and they have to be able to put the bat on the ball in big spots and be productive. Timely hitting. They didn't have a lot of timely hitting, the Yankees. They didn't get it. They didn't get a lot of timely hitting in this series at all. And you know what? The one game they won is because Sanchez exploded the game. That's why they won. Duke and Elizabeth, what's up, Duke?
Hey, Mike. I wanted to go in another direction with the umpiring. Isn't there a ranking that, they do for who's umpiring the playoffs? And
yeah, sure. It's based on merit, but it's also based – there's merit, and it's a system that's based on merit, but also based on longevity. So that's why you get an Angel Hernandez in the postseason. David in West Point. What's up, David?
How you doing? Just a couple of things. One thing, Gardner, I don't know, was he out of position? That's one thing.
No, the ball, I think the ball took off on him a little bit when I watched the replay. The ball was hit very hard, and I think he first thought that he could
react
get
right away.
I think he thought he could get back on the, sometimes the line drive hit right at you is the hardest ball to judge, and I think he thought he was able to get the ball where he was, and then he realized that he needed to go back on the ball, and it got past him. It got over his head. The ball got on him a little quickly, and then he couldn't reach it.
All right, so that was one. And then two, somebody they said something at work, and they were like, what would George do this morning? And I told them right away, first of all, George wouldn't have hired Boone. That's my thing.
George would have had I would be reading a missive right now.
Well, you wouldn't hire Boone in the first place.
Well, I would be reading a missive. You're probably right. He wouldn't hire Boone. It's not his type of manager. I would be reading a missive. But Boone won 100 games in his first year, to be fair. He won 100 games. So let's be fair. He did win 100 games. It wasn't a bad year. And he won the wild card game. It wasn't like it was a nightmare. They lost to a team that won 108 games in the regular season. So they were a good team. Listen, see, there's so many things that would be different with George that it's not even worth discussing all of them. There's so many. There's just so many. Certain guys wouldn't have made the team. Certain young guys would have been traded. And there's a chance a guy like Verlander would have been here. Because that's George. That's just, Ross in Westport. What's up, Ross?
Are we talking about the pre-Howard Spira Steinbrenner or the post-Howard Spira Steinbrenner?
Well, they're different, but, they're not completely different, though.
No, they really weren't. I look at this as three things. I think that, I liked what Boone did this year. I find that he is loyal to a fault.
Yes, he was. I'll give you that. He was.
And I think that's not right. He's going to learn. I think that is something that he's going to, if they don't have it, they don't have it. And I didn't see that from Cora. Cora had no fear. And once he hit the dugout, that loyalty went away.
I think Cora was much more, I would say this, Cora was much more in charge of his team than Boone was in his team. And it's just that maybe that's their personalities.
Yeah, well put. And listen, the Yankees didn't get any, they didn't get anything out of 75% of their starting pitching.
Their pitching didn't pitch. They got out pitch. If you if you play a playoff series, you get out pitch 3 out of 4 games, you're going to lose.
And that, to me, was the combination. It was the loyalty and the fact that your starting pitching didn't do it. And did he stick with his guys long enough too long? Yeah, I think he did. And
Plus,
I think he's
they
gonna
gave
learn from that.
Stanton had a lot of chances to do something and didn't do anything.
And yeah, and he was hitting the ball pretty hard Monday. I thought he made some good contact.
Yeah, and he had a chance. And listen, he had one at bat last night, and he had an at bat last night in the ninth inning, which he could have changed hearts and minds forever with one swing of the bat. And I'm not even saying a home run. If he had just lashed one up the gap in that inning, they didn't need a home run there. They just needed the base hit. He just needed to keep the train moving. He just couldn't stop the train. He just couldn't stop the train. When you get the train moving, and he couldn't find a plate. And Sanchez went up there with a different idea because he went up there from the first moment he was going to have an aggressive at-bat. He was up there, and he wanted to wreck the place. I understand that. That's what he wanted to do. And he had the, he had the nerve to go attack that way, and he came within an inch of sending everybody home with a smile on his face. When he first hit it, it was definitely high. I thought it was going to float. It was a warm night. I thought it was going to be one of those that just kept floating when he first hit it. But when I looked to the outfielder, and I was right there. So and when I looked up and he hit it a mile high, and then I looked to the left fielder, he had his eyes on the ball so intently that I said, "Oh, I think it's in the park." And then he started drifting back. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. And I just thinking, how many times you see go back, and the ball just goes floating into the seats? Not enough. Not enough. And I did think Torres, in his approach, in everything, either got tired or maybe got a little pull happy. Whatever, he just didn't seem to have the quality of at-bat in big spots that he did earlier in the season for whatever reason. Now, listen, they're much bigger at-bats, too. That's a part of it. Back after this.